worksheet from chapter 20. This is number 3, and it says test to see whether there is a significant correlation between the exercise and weight for sophomore females for the student data set. Okay, anytime you see correlation, that's chapter 20. You know, correlation deals with the R. So what you're going to need to do, and you're going to want to do this yourself. I only tried this once, so hopefully you guys try it and you get the exact same answer. But you need to go, I guess actually I did try it twice. Put it in for exercise and weight. Make sure you're going to sophomore females. So this is 2 variable data. It doesn't matter which column you put what. So you can put your exercise in column 1 and then your weight, or vice versa. Either way, you should get the same R value. So I needed these 2 values before I could actually start to write up my conclusion. So if you'll look at your template for chapter 20, this is always a random sample where I have to assume that the residuals are normal. Okay, since this wants a significant correlation, I just wanted, that means that it would be not equal. This row value, that's a fancy P for the row. And be careful, because notice down here when you get ready to do this one, this has significant positive correlation. Your alternate hypothesis is going to be where your row value is greater than 0, since it's positive. I think we did one like that in class. Okay, so here's your equation for your test statistics. So be real careful. I crunched that in there, and it doesn't really matter that you put the negative down here, because when you square it, it's going to be positive anyway. But crunch this all in, you should get this value. Remember, this is the only time that we have to find degrees of freedom by taking n minus 2. So my sample size was 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. So this right here is your t-statistic, your test. I go down here to my p-value. Because it's two-tailed, because it's not equal, it's two-tailed, so I've got to remember to multiply it by 2. Since I used my greater than symbol, I made this guy positive. Even though he's negative right there, I went ahead and you made it positive. So we talked about that. If I look that up, this value right here has to be greater than 0.25. If I multiply that by 2, I get 0.5. Obviously, when I write my rejection rule, it says reject the null hypothesis if 0.5 is less than that. Well, that's definitely not true. So I would fail to reject the null hypothesis. So we conclude there is not a significant correlation between exercise and weight for sophomore females. And by the way, you can see there's a typo here. Those should be H for my hypothesis. Not sure why those are X's, but that should be a little H that I need to go in there and fix.